give our heart and soul to our own country and hopefully lift the game of cricket in South Africa. Durban is a beautiful place. We have a lot of history as well. So hopefully we can just grow that and grow the brand in Durban.
Hashim has been changed to Qalandars. So that is what happened basically to him. I explained to him what Qalandar means.
Melinda? What's a Qalandar forward?
Well, I have a whole story of Qalandar, but I just tell you one thing. It has a great historical significance. The name used by first Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. And when I explained to Brendan McCallum when he joined Lahore Qalandar, so since then, he is our ambassador for Qalandar. He explained you very well. So in 2 words, I just wanted to explain to you that the man who is a God-fearing but fearless. He's selfish to achieve the goals. He's selfish to do best for the country, but he's selfless. So basically, it is fearless, selfless.
There you go. Melinda.
Yes, there has been communication from the CSA guys with the players on our opinions of how many players we think should be playing, how many foreign internationals should be playing, how many teams we think would best suit it from our experiences, especially the guys who have played in the IPLs and CPLs for a lot longer. What's their experience of what works? So we've had our input into it, and I think the way CSA have eventually made it, I think it's been really exciting. The fact that we have a global league with different owners from around the world, for me, in my own heart, I'm feeling quite excited about it. I'm sitting at the table now at lunchtime. A couple of the guys expressed the same interest and same excitement that, this is actually something that it feels like people around the world will be very interested. Okay, how's the Indian team doing? Okay, how's the Pakistani team doing? Okay, you have a UAE team. That type of mixture, hopefully in time, will just grow bigger and bigger and hopefully be truly a global league.
Just to let the media know, we do have a mic around, so we'll get a question from the mic. If you can just put your hand up, but the gentleman from the subcontinent, let's get a question.
Hashim.
Yeah.
Hashim, you were one of the greats of the Test cricket. Am I audible?
Yeah, got you.
You were one of the greats of Test cricket, but you have made great adjustment to the white ball cricket as well. But is it actually difficult to do the adjustment, or there will be only few Hashim Amlas and there will be specialization in all the 3 formats?
I think it's easier to go from Test cricket to make the transition from Test cricket to ODI and T20s. The basic of the game stays the same, as Quinton de Kock very eloquently told us earlier. See ball, hit ball. So it's definitely easier to go from Test cricket to the white ball format. I think as the years go by, you will see a lot more cricketers who are playing Test cricket who will find their niche in the white ball game. Because the basic is see ball, hit ball, but also whichever style of cricket you have, you can be as efficient as possible. So I think you'll find a lot more coming up through it over the years.
Farhad, both you and Hashim have mentioned Brendan McCullum, and you also mentioned the word fearlessness. Can we take it that you'll be going really hard for Brendan McCullum to win him in the draft coming up?
Well, I don't know the CSL law. We have not been shared. But one thing let me tell you, one thing the Qalandars will bring to the tournament, and that is what we did yesterday. Fakhar Zaman was produced by Qalandars. And you see, the world was surprised. The whole world was surprised what has been produced. We did 113,000 people. We did a trial back home in Pakistan. And we found some fascinating talent. One of the talent, you have seen it, and probably that is the Qalandars which will bring to the table. And it will be a very exciting thing for all the youth.
Thank you. Final question here.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I guess it goes for both sides, from the player side and the owner side. The IPL concentrates on Indian audience. That's the main core of the tournament. And the rest of us watch from the outside as global citizens. I understand the magnitude of this league, But I think the most important thing is, for example, Durban. Durbanites need to own the team first. Like we know that in Durban, the Dolphins are the franchise that we all know about there. So how are you going to incorporate Durbanites and make sure that they love, own, and identify with the team firstly before we go outside the country?
We have son of a soil. A Durban is sitting with us. And people will love him. And people love him. Let me tell you, he has a massive following in Pakistan. Massive. And I'm so lucky to have him as our Kalandar, that Durban will love it. And we will see, as I said it, that we will go to the grassroots level. We will connect them the way we connected in our back home and country. So that is how first we will connect Durbans with the Kalandars, and they will connect globally. So this will be a big league.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
sir.
Fawad. Thank you,
Thank you very
Hashim.
much.
Good luck with your combination. Good luck, Durban. Thank you very much. Next up, could you please welcome the Benoni Zalmi, Javed Afridi, and Quinton de Kock. Javed Afridi, who owns the Peshawar Zalmi, who won the second PSL in March in Lahore, and Quinton, who keeps it simple. Right, guys, okay, questions from the floor to Javed Afridi and or Quinton de Kock. Yeah, Firdaus.
About some of the kind of logistics of how a good tournament works. You've played in quite a few tournaments. What were your suggestions? I mean, what is the ideal duration, number of teams, or just how do you like to see these tournaments played?
To be honest, I think the way it's been done now is good enough. We've got enough teams and countless players who have put their name forwards to try and have the opportunity to play in these teams. Obviously, the more players that put their names forward, the better. Just creates more competition in the actual tournament. But so far, it's been perfect. I just wish this launch was back in South Africa, though. But otherwise, it's been perfect.
Can I ask about the Zalmi brand? Because I know, Javed, that you're on a global mission. Is this part of the way?
First of all, let me introduce how we come up with the Zalmi name, and in Pakistan Super League, where actually we are participating, which area we are representing. It's called Peshawar, north part of Pakistan, and you won't believe it that from the last 20 to 30 years we are being traumatized from terrorism, and all the people over there, 70 to 80% being affected and influenced from terrorism. So we are in a very strange area, but I must say that with the spirit of this game, with the spirit of the cricket, Pakistan Super League come up with an idea that Pakistan Cricket Board and Pakistan Super League, they initiate this idea, and we come up with the same spirit that yes, these people, the area we belong from, they need something different, because the kids over there, as I mentioned, that they've been traumatized with this bad thing, and we need to present them in a different way. So that's why we come up with a name as well. It's called Zalmi. That the Zalmi means a passionate youth. In our language, it's called Pashto language. So this spirit has to go a long way. And same time, after this PSL, we establish our Zalmi Foundation. And we have done a lot of developments over there with regards to the cricket, with regards to the social cohesion, with regards to the de-radicalization, with regards to the social activism in that area. And massive response we got it from different platforms, from different peoples. And I must appreciate all the international players who contributed in PSL and who played in Pakistan Super League. And they really motivate the vision and mission, the one we were getting it for Peshawar Zalmi. So same spirit, Alan, we will be getting it into South Africa as well. Benoni, of course, we were just discussing a few ideas that we will establish the same activities what we have done in Peshawar in Pakistan, with the foundation. That Zalmi Foundation will represent all the area, all the major objective what we are doing over there in Pakistan. Inshallah, we will definitely do all the activities in South Africa as well in Benoni.
Ken?
Javed, first of all, have you ever been to Benoni? And then, secondly, if no, there are a couple of you guys from the Pakistan Super League who've invested in the South African League. Do you guys see it as an opportunity to actually maybe increase the sort of following of the Pakistan Super League back home?
Very much right. Yeah, I've been to South Africa, I've been to Benoni, and I've been to major cities in South Africa. And as I mentioned earlier, that at the same time, like we represent with the brand name of Zalmi, so Benoni is almost 60 to 67% is populated with youth, and we'll definitely work on the youth over there as well. And yes, the fan following what we have, we are the most, the biggest fan following franchisee in Pakistan, and all the people are so much excited. You won't believe it, the response what we got it just right now when we were just discussing. I was just discussing with one of our colleague from Lahore, Qalandar, that the spirit what we have and for Pakistan Super League, the two brands, Qalandar and Zalmi, portray the real image of Pakistan in a soft and a better way. So same time, yes, this message is very much important, that we come up with 3 words only: passion, passion, and just passion. So we have to take it all along the way, inshallah.
Any more questions? I think we've got 5 minutes, I think. Nicely done, fellas. Thank you very much. Javed Afridi and Quinton de Kock from Benoni Zalmi. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Next up.
And Osman Osman.
No, we've got a little change there, Crystal. We've got Cape Town, we've got Venki Mysore and JP Domini. It's just been, they're not ready yet. JP? Yep. Yeah. Venki? All the best lines from Shah Rukh Khan coming up. All right, so Cape Town, the owner is Shah Rukh Khan, represented by Venki Mysore. It's the Knight Riders, Kolkata, Trinidad, and of course now Cape Town. So questions please to JP and Venki. Yeah.
Venki, my name is Shomitra Bose. I am from Hindustan Times, Delhi. I'm a Calcuttan as well. So JP plays in the IPL, he's a veteran. And considering the fact that next year in IPL it's going to be an open auction, can we see JP Tumini in KKR?
Great question.
No, he's asking about being KKR.
Great answer.
See, obviously what we have tried to do in building our business and our brand is in IPL and in CPL and now the Global League, the intention is always to expand our business and grow our business. And one of the ways that it works well is when we have some level of commonality between each teams, whether it's at the player level or at the support staff level. But having said that, we managed to do some of that in between KKR and TKR in CPL, Trinbago Knight Riders. But each league has its own system of drafts and auctions and whatnot. So we'll have to see whether some of the stars align for us to get some benefit out of that. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah. JP?
Sorry? I think
That's a politician's start. Well done.
The best answer to give, I would like to play in the IPL. And I think whoever picks me up next year, if that's at all possible, I would represent them as best as I can. I've had a great opportunity to play for various teams, and if KKR are interested and I end up playing for them, then I'll definitely give my best for the team.
Good question, though. Produce.
And different drafts, and all of them have different rules. You could end up with a situation like this where you've got a player in a South African league playing for one of your teams and then against you in a different league. Just how do you manage that as owners? Would you like to have consistency across your squads, or is it about just changing it up every time?
Well, I think it's already happening. The reality of it is, for example, Brendan McCullum is our marquee player in Trinbago Knight Riders. You know, and he plays against us. He played against us for Gujarat and he smashed us all over the place. So that's okay. You know, I think it's just the way the leagues are set up. And each player is extremely professional to do the best they can for their respective teams. And we had a very good team as well in KKR. So I don't know whether that type of alignment would ever be possible as a practical matter. So you just have to go with what you can. And what we do have, which we control a little bit, is just to make sure that the culture is reasonably common. You know, we have a support staff which works with us in KKR as well as in TKR, and I'm hoping that that'll be the same case in the Global League. I mean, Jacques Kallis, the favorite son of South Africa and Cape Town, is our head coach in KKR, and he works with us in TKR as well, and I certainly expect that he'll work with us in CTKR as well. So I think we've been able to achieve that to some extent. You know, assistant coach, analyst, they're all common. But players will have to wait and see how it plays out.
Two final questions, Thomas. Yeah.
JP, mine's for you. Obviously, somebody spoke about politics earlier on, and in South Africa, we are unique with our own politics. And some people use the word transformation. I'd rather use integration. Now, at Newlands, for example, how are you going to try and incorporate all of Cape Town? Like there's Langa Cricket. Would love to see Temba's team come through and see Langa, Kailicha, Kukuletu come and watch your team.
So to answer that question, so I had a discussion with Venki already. So I'm sure you're well aware that I've got my own foundation back home, the JP21 project. And I've already had a discussion with him of how to integrate the JP21 project in with CTKR, if that is at all possible. So, I mean, he was definitely open to the idea, and I'm sure he'll be very open to the idea of getting kids from disadvantaged areas into coming and supporting our team, but also not only supporting us going there and supporting them. I think that's very important in terms of what we're trying to establish as a global league. We want to be seen as a global league and as a team to give back to communities. And I don't think it's a case of where you should target one area. I think it's various areas that we can target because it is a 6-week tournament. So there will be various opportunities to go and visit potentially or get kids to come to us. And I think that's a very important aspect of the Global T20 League.
Final question, gentlemen.
JP, you are a big star in South Africa and India also, but your owner also is a big star. There is a chance that he may be signing more autographs than you. Is there any?
I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. As I said earlier, when I was up on stage, I said that I've had some involvement with Shah Rukh Khan, and he's a global superstar, and for me to be a part of his team is a great honor. And I certainly look forward to the involvement that I would have, and I'm pretty comfortable with him signing more autographs than I do. Sorry, Faf.
Well said.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
So, thanks, JP. Venki, regards to Shah Rukh, and good luck to the Knight Riders of Cape Town.
We have Faf du Plessis come to the stage. He, of course, is with the Stellenbosch franchise and owned by Brimstone, with Mr. Bray not able to be with us. Faf is handling it solo, so be gentle.
Faf du Plessis, from the wine-growing area of Pretoria to Cape Town.
Okay, we welcome questions
Okay,
for
Faf du Plessis.
Lloyd.
A way that CSA looked at of stopping that and preventing that. Do you think that can happen? Or do you think moving forward with this tournament, more players would be prepared to commit their long-term futures to the country?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I actually spoke about it. Spoke about it before. Obviously, when the cold pack thing started happening in South Africa, it was quite important that South Africa looked at different ways to try and keep players in the country. And I think this is a huge step towards that. I think players don't have to look outside anymore. Obviously from an opportunity point of view, one, and also from a financial opportunity, number two, it doesn't need now to go overseas and look for other stuff. So I think this is amazing for our cricket, and I think it's going to be really important in keeping most of the players in our country.
Good one. For those?
How important is it that there's some local flavor, but also, I mean, just local versus foreign investment?
Yeah.
How do you view that?
Look, it's really important to have local investments, as you said. Just the interest in obviously from a South Africa point of view, but also the foreign opportunities and investments they bring into the country, that will bring in a much bigger audience. And as everyone's been spoken about, you know, you'll have, all of a sudden there'll be a huge following of Pakistan, the country itself, in South Africa. I mean, there's always been a big interest, I think, from the Indian people, especially with the cricket that we play, and there's a lot of South Africans playing in the IPL. But I think what it creates now, it will put a much more of an emphasis on cricket in South Africa, and especially the domestic players. I feel they've been possibly underlooked at times, and you always just get your international players getting good opportunity everywhere in the world. But this will be a great opportunity for them to put their names out there to the world, and somehow try and get into the IPLs. If you look at the Australian system, there's a lot more players that get picked up from their domestic system into the IPL, and it's because of obviously the TV and the exposure that they get from a big bash. So certainly this will be exactly the same.
Melinda?
The cricket calendar gets even more crowded, at the time of year that it's on, obviously it's going to be competing with Australia's home season, and there's India series as well. How much of an impact do you think you can make with so much noise, I guess, having that around the world, and also the effect on player availability sort of from now and in the future from other countries coming in?
Yeah, that will be the challenge, as is the challenge with international cricket now as well, as there's a lot of games that's been played through the season. I think the great thing now is you're starting to see that different T20 leagues are taking up different gaps in the year. Obviously, current international players can't participate in all of them. It's just not possible. But what that creates, it brings in your ex-players, as Brendan talked about, the mercenaries. They'll be going everywhere across the world, and that's great for the game. Certainly South Africa is no different to any other place. The fans would love to see Brendan McCullum, Dwayne Bravo, Kieran Pollard, all those guys playing on our shores. And I think the biggest thing for us is that for the first time, our national players will be available to play a whole competition. That's never been the case. We've always come back from long tours, and there was a lot of important cricket coming up, so we're not always available to play as much domestic cricket as perhaps was needed, and this gap creates that. So for the whole South African team to be available to play in this tournament is the most important thing.
Thanks, Faf. I think we're just about done. Was it a quick question for those? Quick one? Is there a problem with player fatigue?
Is there not a concern with fatigue? You're mentioning that the gaps could fill the whole year now, basically.
Yeah, see, if you're playing international cricket, obviously you don't have the opportunity to go and play in those tournaments. So player fatigue would be coming versus international cricket, obviously coming back into a tournament like this. But if you look into the next 5 or 6 months, there'll be a sufficient time for players to have a bit of rest after the England series. There's a bit of a gap. Then we've got Bangladesh coming over, and then it's the T20 league. So I think for this year that shouldn't be a case. But obviously every year would be different in the schedule and how many games we play.
Thank you. Is it a short one? Last one.
This gets me concerned about Test cricket now, because I never thought AB would say, I don't want to play Test anymore. Let me guess, you next, right? Workload.
No, I'm still very focused on playing Test cricket. For me, that's obviously really important. I mean, every guy is different. AB will have his own reasons for not playing Test cricket, and that will be for doing a huge service for South Africa the last years and wanting to spend some time with family. For me now, it's personally, I'd still like to play Test cricket for as long as possible. And the fact that the T20 Global League is there, or that all the other tournaments around the world is there, doesn't change that. The important thing is there's a gap for us to play in it. if there wasn't a gap, then players had to choose between one or the other. And I think it's really important that you don't have that clash. Yeah, so that's really important.
Thanks, Thomas. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Faf. Thank you. Well done. Thank you very much. Thanks, Faf.
Hermit Dua and Kagiso Rabada. They, of course, have that connection from Delhi already and will reignite it in Johannesburg.
So, from Delhi to Johannesburg. Sumitra, and then here, Ken. Okay, here we go.
Hemant, this is Soumitra Bose from Hindustan Times.
Can you hold the mic?
This is Soumitra Bose from Hindustan Times, Delhi. GMR has always built sites. They spend a lot of money. You had Kagiso playing for Delhi Daredevils. But what was the idea to play in the T20 Global League? That's my first question. And any chances of seeing Rahul Dravid coming and doing some backroom stuff, which KKR could be doing with Jack Callis? And do you see a change in fortunes?
That's 3 questions.
Change in fortunes. That's 3 questions. Change in fortunes for Delhi Daredevils.
I didn't get your last part. What did you say?
Do you see better fortunes for DD in South Africa?
Okay. Wow. Well, why are we here? I think it's very simple. I mean, like, you want to build a sports business, and South Africa, we have a great history. You know, I think we as a franchise have employed more South African players than any other franchise in IPL, and we're very proud of that. And we wanted to enhance that relationship into a reality. And when this league came up, it was a natural fit. We're growing as a sports business. GMR believes in creating value, so we've bought a kabaddi team in the PKL recently in UP, and so this was a great fit. It provides a great brand extension to move forward in that direction, so that's about it. As far as coaching staff, who's going to be, what KKR is doing, that's KKR's business. What we will do, we'll kind of work that out as we move forward in that direction. I think we've just bought the team. We haven't really thought about where our coaching staff is going to be and what's going to be. But yes, the idea is to keep as much as continuity as you can, because it helps create the brand that way, and it will provide a natural extension to that, because it will provide for the coaches to see the talent and, you know, kind of work with them throughout the year. That's what the intention is, because IPL provided you like a very small platform where you couldn't really go out and build. So if our coaches work with Kagiso in Delhi and then with Kagiso in Johannesburg, they get to know him better, and he gets to know them better. So, you know, that's the right direction that we want to head in, and then I think that will work naturally great for us. As far as our winning fortunes, I think cricket's a very hard sport. It was visible yesterday, right? Wasn't it? So I think our good times will come soon. Thank you.
Okay.
Hemant, given that you've mentioned creating the brand, and there are obviously synergies that are starting to develop between IPL teams and teams elsewhere in the world, and sort of contrasted to that is the BCCI decision that no Indian players can play in other T20 leagues around the world. Do you think the time will come maybe when the IPL teams start to say, listen, it's going to help us build our brands better if we can use some of the same Indian superstars from the IPL playing in these other global tournaments?
Well, I can't really comment on what, you know, how the governing boards for each country really think and what direction they want to take the sport in. That's for them to decide. We're no one for them to decide. We're here to build a professional franchise, and you know, whatever's offered in the pool, we'll work with the best talent that's available, and we'll create value around that. I think that's the way to move forward. And I think, I mean, like, listen, more and more you see more of these. I heard before, these leagues are mushrooming everywhere, and I think they're becoming successful. And I'm sure Global League South Africa is going to be a massive league in its own rights. So eventually, you know, cricket will head in one direction. You can't have so much of sport being played throughout the year in different formats. So it will head in that direction, and I think people will get wiser, and there will be more free flotation of talent across the world. And then that will help us kind of get that thing together and build on a core that can play in different formats around the world for us.
Thomas, last question here now.
Kagiso, nice socks. First thing.
I think he's matching yours, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. That's why I said nice socks. It's blatant that T20 has exposed that everybody's got a price. I hate to put you on the spot here. If you could choose a coach to coach your team, who would you like around the world?
Yeah, that's a tough decision. There's lots of good coaches, lots of people who I respect, lots of people who I've been under who've been very good. I can't choose.
Maybe in 6 months' time, he'll give it. Thanks very much. I think good luck, Delhi, Johannesburg. Well done. Thanks, Kagiso. Well done. Have a great tour. Thanks, Heman. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Next.
Now to Pretoria. AB de Villiers and Osman Osman.
Pretoria, ladies and gentlemen. Osman. AB. How is it? Okay. 5 minutes. First question. Ken, are you writing a tome there, Ken? All right. Here we go.
Osman, as one of only 2 South African-based team owners now, you've obviously been in South Africa for a while and obviously passionate about South African cricket. Why have you decided to invest in a big way now?
Well, I'm born and brought up in South Africa. And why invest in it? I mean, it's Pretoria has always been close to us. I mean, that's where I grew up. And especially going to this, to Centurion, the cricket grounds. We felt that, a diversification within our brand from our company point of view was needed. And obviously being from Pretoria, we felt that, people would support us and support the T20 Global League from that end. South Africa would come together and, with the likes of AB de Villiers there.
For those?
AB, having been part of quite a few of these leagues, can you see a consistency developing? Are things run in similar ways around the world? Do you think that that's how these leagues will grow? Is that, like, for example, similar owners will own teams and then build a culture that exists across various leagues in the world?
It seems to be happening that way. I don't exactly know what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years' time, but there seems to be a trend of owners getting involved with various teams around the world, and it's great for the game. I really think it's fantastic for the game, growing it in various parts of the world. But there's definitely a trend. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to end up and how it's going to fit in with the ICC schedule and all of that, but there's definitely that kind of trend, yeah.
Lloyd?
Being part of this and going through the whole process, you needed to have the appetite for it. I think the fit that we have now is ideal because you're bringing on experience of other team owners, from across the other leagues, which we need. And definitely, I think, there was 11 stadiums put out there. So, CSA is probably going to, in time to come, there is going to be other opportunity. But I think, it's a learning curve for us and for us to be learning from, the other team owners. Because we're new into this whole, cricket, it's ideal the way that things have panned out.
Question there?
Mr. Osman, my name's Telford Weiss, I write for the Sunday Times and the Times Media Group. Can I ask you, how do you think this league is going to set itself apart from the leagues that are already up and running? Because already you see the same old names playing in the same old competitions. How's this one going to be different?
The thing is, the South African audiences love cricket. I think we've established that and ascertained that. And something like this coming to South Africa, it's for the audiences there. Setting aside, differentiating ourselves, I mean, it's the Rainbow Nation. That's what we are. People are going to come together in terms of enjoying the league and what's to come out of there.
Thanks, Telford. One more here. Last one here, gentlemen. I feel like Derek Watts standing here.
Hi, Osman. As a new franchise owner, do reports such as the BBL losing money concern you? is this are you looking to make money out of this, or is this a branding exercise, or is this you love cricket and you're investing in South African cricket?
Look, everyone wants to make money, but I think, the business plan behind it is to see the league grow. Obviously, we have set aside coffers in terms of if we are going to run at a loss, because we are passionate about growing the T20 Global League. I think, in time to come, this is going to be one of the leagues to watch over the IPL. And it's just a matter of time. I mean, in your business model that you put up, you factor in all of these things. And, we have factored it. From a brand point of view, not necessarily, but I think, from a growing the league point of view, that's where we in.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks very much indeed. Faf? AB, sorry. AB, sorry. Freudian. Thanks, Osman. Thank you very much. Cheers,
AB. Of course, AB is going to be quite
All want to
big with the T20 coming up. Let's call Port Elizabeth up. Imran Tahir and AJ Sethi.
From Dubai, the Channel 2 group. Also, Ajay has been broadcasting cricket across the world on cricket radio in conjunction with TalkSport Radio in this country, the ICC Champions Trophy. Ajay's company, I believe, has the global rights, radio rights.
For next 10 years.
For the next 10 years. So I think the message is a global message, certainly from a broadcasting point of view on cricket radio, which is a global radio service in sport and certainly cricket. Am I right there?
Yeah, that's right. And we also have a video clip rights from ICC for the next few years for South Africa and Africa, Sub-Sahara, and many other territories in the world.
So will there be from your point of view, a business interest in this T20 Global League?
Yes, we already have a platform which we can market and promote our franchise during the live events of international events like ICC. And it's purely a business. Okay, it's a passion, but it turns to any passion which turns to a business is very rare, and I'm very, very fortunate that we have done this in past with our cricket relationship with the ICC and other boards, including SABC in South Africa. I had a long-term relationship with the television rights. We sold them in the past. Yeah. So Africa is very close to us in a business perspective, and getting into the league was a great opportunity for us to get into the same market we're already working with.
Thanks, Ajay. Questions to Ajay or Imran for the Port Elizabeth franchise? Imran's new celebrations for those?
Ajay, given that you've got rights for other competitions, have you heard anything about how this tournament will be broadcast? And I mean, is it possible that you could put your name in the hat to be one of the broadcast partners?
I think it's a different process because there must be a bidding process. The league will decide, I'm sure there is broadcast deals in place or they're coming up. That's the league has to decide and disclose. But if it's available to my company to bid, I will definitely like to look into this.
Any question for Imran? Any more questions? Yeah, one, Ken. Ken? Yeah.
Imran, you've played in quite a few franchises around the world and teams. Never the Warriors, never Port Elizabeth. It's quite ironic that you're now going to add another one to your list.
Yeah, look, I'm really excited about it. I think the reason I played for so many teams, wherever I went and play, I enjoyed my time. And like I said, I'm really looking forward for the new team. And I really hope that we can make as a Protea players and all the marquee players international to this league, the best league in the world. And, we can give as best as we can and promote this well to the world and show that what South Africa is all about. And yeah, look, I'm really looking forward for it. And thanks to the people, all the owners here today to invest their money and trust it in South Africa.
Just a question for Ajay. What do you really like about Imran Tahir as a T20 player? Why were you so invested in going for his team and his venue?
I think Imran Tahir, I think being his skill and talent, I think is a great human being. I think I'm very happy to be him as my marquee player. And same time, he's world's best T20 bowler. So I couldn't have asked him more than that. And great person to meet and create a relationship with him will be my goal, and I think we'll work together and maybe get advice for me.
Thank you very much, sir. Very kind of you.
You've known each other for years.
Yeah, that's right.
Ajay, Imran, good luck. You're in the friendly city of Port Elizabeth. Ajay, look, seeing you. Thank you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, David Miller, Sushil Kumar, Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein. Okay, final pairing, ladies and gentlemen. Ken, sure you like to start. Firdaus.
Sushil, just to ask you, Cricket South Africa have had transformation targets in place in the domestic competitions, but as we understand it, they won't apply to this league. Was that an important factor for you when you thought about investing, and what is your commitment to development in South Africa?
The very fact that we had chosen Bloemfontein was primarily to bring Bloemfontein to the cricketing map of the world. That was the primary concern. And there was no issue about no issue about the development, whatever you had mentioned about the players draft.
You obviously play for the Knights, based in Bloemfontein now, but was part of you gunning for the Durban post?
Yeah, I've only had one season with the Knights and really enjoyed it, but obviously grew up in Durban. It's a place that I really, really enjoy, close to my heart, but I have moved on and really enjoying Bloemfontein, what it's added to me with my career. So I'm looking forward to this tournament, and yeah, I mean it's going to be a good spot. So we only play half the games there, and the other half are around the country. So it's much of a match just for everyone.
More for your dollar in Free State, Ken. Question for David or for Sushil?
Well, I'll ask David one because David, you played in the IPLs of the world, all these leagues. What, if there's anything that it does teach you as a cricketer, what does it do for you?
I think the biggest thing is the conditions around the world. You play in different conditions. I mean, you got to adjust, you got to adapt to certain conditions and playing against other opposition. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, with all the international players around, you get to play against them. So it grows a huge amount in you with adapting to certain conditions, playing against other opposition, and then obviously helping the youngsters that are coming through that you can still learn from. So there's a huge amount that you gather from around the world in playing all these tournaments, and I think it's really, really beneficial to a lot of the guys.
Sushil, can I ask you, I mean, I know that recently the Hong Kong T20 cricket, I think that got underway a little bit March, I think it was. Is there anywhere in your thinking that you could perhaps have a T20 tournament in Hong Kong with the expats and bring the David Millers and the A.B. de Villiers and the Faf du Plessis, Kagiso Rabadas there to Hong Kong?
We already had this. We have been having the T20 league since the last 2 years. And last year we were actually gunning for a couple of South African players. But they were having a bilateral series. So that was the reason they were not available. So, in fact, there was no South African player who played in that league.
Okay, so maybe the future.
But definitely in the future.
Definitely. Hong Kong, great city.
Yes.
The dollar doesn't go far there, though. Any more questions for Sushil or for David? If not, then we'll just about close the stumps. Umpires have called time. Thanks, David. Thanks, Sushil. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, we now have the... do we have the 4 marquee players?
Okay.
So I think what we're hoping to have the 4 international marquee players, Pollard, Bravo, Peterson and McCullum. We're just waiting on that. Is that happening? If not, they're coming. The international marquee players will be allocated to teams on the 19th of August. 19th of August. And the players draft. Thanks, Dwayne. Okay, we got Kyron Pollard, Dwayne Bravo, and KP. Is he around, boys? Okay. All right. Quick couple of questions for Kyron or for Dwayne Bravo. Ken?
All around the world. What do you think is going to stand out about the T20 Global League? What's going to be different for you?
I just think that having the Protea guys around for the entire tournament is going to bring a lot more value to the tournament. Quality of cricket is going to be better, and with all the international stars, I think crowd support and stuff will be much higher as well. So I think that's going to be the most exciting part for this tournament coming up.
Can I ask, boys, obviously, you're well-traveled, international stars, the facilities that you've seen in South Africa, all the ground, how good are the grounds and the facilities for looking after your players? How good are they?
Yeah, it's good. We all know as professional cricketers that South Africa is one of the better playing cricketing nations around the world, and the facilities is top class. Hence the reason why they breed so much talent around the world. And you can see from their structure, a very good structure. And I think this tournament in itself, playing in a country where the facilities is good, now you're going to rub shoulders with the SAA players in terms of the Fab du Plessis, the AB de Villiers, all these guys are going to be taking part in the tournament along with the international players. There might be some international coaches as well, so the opportunity now open up across the board. And again, South Africa is one of the countries that we all love playing and going to.
Kari, just how difficult, I ask given how many foreign owners there are in this league, but when you first enter the South African climate, to understand the place politically and culturally, how was that for you, and do you see it being difficult for the owners to do that and for these foreign guys to come in and understand?
Well, for me personally, obviously, it took a couple of years for me to understand what was really taking place or what had taken place before. But so now I'm accustomed to it. I understand what these guys go through. I think it all depends with the owners, the sort of rules and regulations that's put in place, for that in terms of selection of players and stuff like that. That's going to be the hardest thing. If not, then it's just a matter of getting to understand your marquee players, getting to understand the city, and choosing guys who are going to win matches for you and build a franchise. Because you look at it, there's a couple of franchises that have franchises in India, in Trinidad and Tobago, different parts of the world, and they're looking to build their brand as well. So I think that's going to be the challenging factor, because they want to have a brand. They're going to get the right players, the right coaches, the right people. And again, it boils down to the rules and regulations when it comes to selection of players.
What excites you about this T20 Global League?
T20 in itself. T20 cricket all around the world. It's exciting cricket. It brings out a different, sort of, culture, as we say. When you look at the Caribbean Premier League, you see the West Indian flair in it. The Big Bash, there's something different about it. The Indian Premier League, they're fanatics. So each and every country have their own culture. And it's going to be fascinating for us as international players to be involved in the South African culture. As Brav said, we from the Caribbean, we enjoy coming to South Africa. We feel like, at home here. So we're looking forward to that.
I want to ask one final question, because you guys, you play all the year round now, and I know that, Dwayne, you've had a hammies and shoulder, and I think, Karen, you've been relatively okay. Oh, knee, leg. How important is having someone regular who sees you to look after you? I mean, I'm talking about not just trainers or physios, but, the medical team, because you're going from franchise to franchise, different parts of the world. How important is it to have someone to look after your needs?
It's very important. I think, a medical team is very important to any athlete because there's a trust level when you have a physio or a personal trainer that you believe in, that you trust in. You tend to trust their judgment. They tend to listen to you as well. But every time you have to change a physio or a fitness trainer, they will have some doubts in your mind. And the honest truth, Pollard and both of us, Pollard and myself, we have the same physical trainer. And both of us are actually thinking of we're not going to be in the same team, but we are actually going to fly our trainer over to South Africa and maybe spend time between treating both of us, because there's someone that we really believe in. And at this point, I just come off a really bad surgery, 6 months, not able to play cricket. So, my first set of games coming back out of surgery is going to be very crucial. So I need to have someone there that I really trust and believe in. I fly him outside to India as well. He was with me there in India, but unfortunately I have to pull out of the IPL. So to answer your question, a medical team, very important.
Thanks, Wayne. Thank you very much. Thanks, boys.
Thanks for Dwayne and Karen. Not. Well, we thank you so much
Guys,
for
thank
your
you very
time.
much.
Thanks for being a part of this Global League. Dwayne Bravo, Karen Pollard. Thank you.
Thanks, boys. Thank you. Cheers, Karen. Cheers.
Thanks.
I think that's about it. So, Crystal,
Yes, thank
start
you so
it.
much, everybody, for joining us for this launch of the T20 Global League. And we look forward to seeing you in South Africa, as was mentioned earlier, on the 19th of August. That is when some big things will be happening in the T20 Global League. Looking forward to it, Alan.
So much so, yeah. Thank you very much indeed, Crystal. Nice working with you. Thanks, ladies, for all the help as well. It's been amazing. Thank you to you, and we'll see you in South Africa. Thank you.
Bye.